and in our admissions office, and she was always getting in trouble about work because she would always work way more than she was allowed to, and we couldn't get her to stop working. She just loves Erskine so much. And this year she's not even working for us. She's working for the Due West Retirement Center, and we still can't keep her from working. They saved us $100 on delivery tonight from Chick-fil-A. Gosh. And a whole lot. So this is sort of, what we do at Erskine. We find people that fall in love, and then we exploit them. And hopefully, you guys, you do need to know that we really do appreciate what you're doing. And David, Earl said that I moved him out from Kansas. That's not really the Erskine way. He moved himself with U-Haul. And it was a big job that he did this summer. We're really excited to have him settling in Due West. He spent a few months, I guess, right within walking distance of campus, and now he's got a little farm just on the edge of town, and a nice piece of land that he's looking forward to having students out to enjoy. And one of my favorite stories about him moving east is that his wife got to fulfill one of her long-time dreams. This year, for the first year, she got to fulfill her dream of walking on the beach on her birthday. And that was really cool. It was really cool that she got to do it. It was even cooler that David remembered from when they were dating that she always said she'd always wanted to do that. I was going to do that later this year. So South Carolina has some advantages over Kansas, and we're sure glad to have benefited from their loss in scooping up the Earl family and getting them to come back east. We've had a lot of stuff going on at Erskine. One of the things that I've been learning is that I tend to be fairly impatient. And whenever I see something, I see people hurting, I want to go in and try and fix it as fast as possible. And Greg, our CFO, keeps telling me, well, now we don't necessarily always change things that fast here at Erskine. And so if I have worried you over the last year, because things seem to be changing more quickly than you think they ought to or whatever, I really do need to apologize for that. I know that change can be scary. I also know that just me being on the team is different. Dr. Rubel was incredible, but we look a little different. We're at different ages, different parts of the life spectrum. And you guys have to deal with the differences between the way he did things and the way that I do things, and the way that he looked and the way that I look, and the way that his family operated and the way that my family operates. And that's a lot of change in and of itself. But you also know that I came into Erskine at an awkward time, and there were a lot of people that are hurting. There are a lot of people that are still hurting now, and that's not okay. We have to address and work towards reconciliation. We have to address the problems and work toward reconciliation. And when it comes to reconciliation, I think it's okay to be impatient. So I hope that you're working with me. I thank you for being here tonight. That shows that you are. I know that you've been supportive of Erskine. You know what Erskine's been through much more than I do. And so it's my ongoing prayer that God will continue to unite us, and that God will continue to use us in the lives of students, future students, present students, and of course past students. I hope that the relationships that are right here in this room continue to motivate you and to shape you into the people that God would have you to be. Now, a lot of fun stuff happening at Erskine. One of probably the most significant things that's happening is that we have pretty radically changed our admissions office. The staff that we had last year was doing the same sort of things that had been very successful for Erskine in Erskine's history for a long time. And the processes were tried and true processes. They tried new things here and there, but one of the biggest things that I noticed coming in that was different is that we were still using paper applications. Paper applications are very labor intensive, and there are you have human error with regard to data entry and these sorts of things. Plus, there are only so many people that you can reach out to. Most of our students found out about it through things like college fairs, where people were face to face. And, of course, through the alumni base. The alumni base probably still and probably will always be our most effective source of recruiting new students, spreading by word of mouth. But most kids these days don't do a lot of paperwork. They really do like for things to be electronic, and when you do things electronically, there are lots of deficiencies. We learned this probably 10 or 15 years ago in the library system. Everybody converted from the card catalog system to an electronic database. And there were a lot of librarians pulling their hair out when that happened. What we got at Erskine is akin in a lot of ways to an old library. We have treasures and treasures and treasures on our shelves. And yet, not a whole lot of people know about what we got going on in little old Erskine. Now, Buddy mentioned the U.S. News and World Report's rankings, and we have gone back and forth between regional baccalaureate and nationally ranked. We've gone back and forth over the years, Erskine has, between those two categories. And there's some debate about which category Erskine fits in the best. But this year, they evaluated us, and through all of their statistical analysis and their survey data, they decided that we fit in that national category. And I absolutely agree with them. I think that what we have in Due West, South Carolina is worthy of national attention. And you said we're 144th, and that sounds like there are a lot of people in front of us. Well, guess what? There are a whole heck of a lot of liberal arts colleges in this country. And we were number 4 regionally, which was significant. That meant that we weren't even ranked nationally. In that 144, well, there are 150 that compile the Tier 1 schools. So, Tier 1, 144 sounds like, wow, they got a lot of people in front of us. But the big news item is we are now a Tier 1 nationally ranked liberal arts college. We're one of the only Council for Christian Colleges and University schools that are in that category. There are probably 12 to 13 schools in the nation that are Christian colleges that have similar rankings to ours. We are receiving national attention at Erskine. We will continue to receive national attention at Erskine, and our recruiting strategies we will also be moving towards a national recruiting strategy, making it easier for students in other parts of the country to find out about what we got going on here. A lot of you remember the times when we had a real steady stream of immigrant students coming down from New Jersey. And then I think we had a really good pipeline for a while from the D.C. area. And every now and then there'll be pockets of students that find out about us. And once they find out about us, they tell their friends, and we end up with a stream, and it lasts for a while. We've got to figure out how to keep that stream open so that people across the country find out about us more often, because the biggest tragedy of Erskine, we have 100 empty beds on campus. That means without building another building, we can make the Erskine experience possible for another 100 students every year. That, to me, is a stewardship issue. You have been generous with Erskine. You've given very generously of your time and of your money to Erskine, and your gifts are making Erskine possible for people who could not afford it otherwise. But we've still got 100 empty beds. That keeps me up at night. We've got to figure out how to make sure that we are maximizing every dollar that comes through us. And we're maximizing in a way that's not just asking our employees to do more and asking their spouses to do more for Erskine, or asking faculty to sleep on the floor. Where'd you go, Mary Lane? She's commuting back and forth from Greenville, and every now and then she has to spend the night in Due West. She just sleeps on the floor in her office, saves her money. Everybody who's involved with Erskine loves Erskine, but we've got to do a better job of being a good steward of what Erskine has to offer. We're revamping our admissions office. Really excited about the prospects there. Essentially, we're just converting from the old card catalog system to go electronic. We've hired